Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday. Welcome to the Pandemic Proof Singer Series. I'm your host, Danielle Tucker. I'm a singer, vocal coach, a singer with the Mighty Untouchables band. I'm also the recent host and producer of the Pandemic Proof Singer Summit, and soon to be Summit number 2. And this is a weekly series about singers for singers. It's about us moving forward in the midst of pandemic and an industry shutdown. It's about community and lifting one another up. It's about inspiring one another and doing hard things. And if anybody can help us do that, it is my guest tonight, who I am so excited to introduce. She's a great friend. I'm so blessed to have her in my life. It is Rebecca Jade. She's an accomplished award-winning singer-songwriter. She's been touring with Sheila E since 2017. She recently appeared in the Grammy Salute to Prince that aired on CBS. That was in April. She also sang background vocals for Sir Elton John at last year's Academy Awards. She knows her stuff. Has 27 years of recording studio experience. So many great things to say about her. We'll dive into a bunch of that, but I'm going to bring her on right now. Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm fabulous. So wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me. Always a fun hang.
Always. Yes. Good to see your face.
Thank you. Likewise.
Let's jump into what you've been up to. What kind of projects you have going on right now? What's new?
Gosh, it's been actually, I've been doing still the, I can't even believe it. We had, last weekend or 2 weekends ago was number 10 of my homemade live stream concerts here. I have it here in my music room with my friend John Harford on guitar, and we did number 10. And it's weird because we missed only the first month, because at first I was like, just like a lot of people, now this isn't going to be happening for super long. And then when it was like all the gigs were canceled and everything like that, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's a good idea to kind of just get, figure out this whole music streaming thing, So we didn't do March, but we've done one ever since April. So April of last year. So that we just did number 10, and we're gonna do another one later this month, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So yeah. So I've been doing that. I've been doing other like really cool live stream gigs. I have one tomorrow. I'm doing with Peter Sprague. We're doing a Pat Metheny, which is really cool because Pat Metheny's an instrumentalist, and Peter's really good friends with a wonderful lyricist named Randy Phillips, and she wrote lyrics to like 5 of his instrumental songs. So we're doing that. I'm doing the vocals for that. It's gonna be really cool. That's tomorrow night at 6:30. And
where's
then
that streaming from?
Oh, on YouTube. So it'll be on Peter's YouTube channel.
Okay.
Peter Sprague.
I'm gonna
post it. Yeah, I posted a flyer on my page as well. So
great. I just threw your website and your social media handles up in the comments, so everybody can find you.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. So that's tomorrow night. So that's been really cool, really challenging. Because it's just, Peter is so great. And of course, Pat Metheny, he actually said I didn't have to really do much because the music itself was already really incredible. So that's been a really fun challenge. And speaking of that, like I've been doing also sight singing classes. So that's been like really cool. I've already done all 3. I wanted to start from beginner, intermediate, and now I'm in the advanced class, just trying to really grasp. I want to get to a point where one day I can just look at, like, the stuff I'm doing with Peter is really, indicative of that. I want to get to the point where I can look at this really complex sheet music and just read it, and I'm not quite, I'm better, which is great. I'm getting better, but I'm still not at that point where I have to read it. Where I can just grab it and read it. So, but Peter's been so wonderful. We break it down. He works with me. But these sight reading classes have been really helpful. So I've been doing that all online.
Is it Peter that's giving the classes, or you're taking it online?
Sorry. I didn't mean to, I'm taking them online. it's with a guy named Gerald White, and it's his online course that I learned about it through the LA Singers Friends
Yeah.
Facebook page. So,
Yeah.
so it's really wonderful, really challenging, and then what's funny for the first one, I was really unclear on some of this stuff. Total sidebar story, but every time I have questions, I would call Derek Cannon, who teaches music at Grossmont. Shout out to Grossmont music program. They're really, really wonderful. But I would call Derek and be like, okay, this is what the teacher said, but I don't get it. And then he would totally break it down for me and give me a little education on that. I'm like, thank you so much. And so yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, exactly. So it's just been doing that, trying to just take this time to kind of just improve on my craft as much as possible. I've been working on a new record. I'm doing that. So that's been really cool. I just had 2 new songs mixed. The songs I'm working on with a friend of mine named Carnell Harrell. He's up in LA. And my friend Greg Manning, shout out to Greg, who's been mixing the records. So we have about 7 tracks done now. And I think we're going to have enough. I want to aim for 10 and then kind of figure out what to do with that afterward. I think we're going to probably plan on single releases, and then at some point probably release an actual CD, but probably limited, because a lot of it's streaming now. So, but yeah, so just working on a record. I've been just trying to keep myself super busy.
Yeah.
So,
What's the record like? Is it your originals? Are you writing on it? How is
yeah.
it?
So this project is probably, I would say, my first official music baby because
Nice.
I'm excuse me, I've been so grateful and blessed to work with incredible people. And I wasn't sure, I wanted to know if I had a blank canvas, what would come out of it, and
Yeah.
whereas, like I said, I have these wonderful people that I have these projects I've worked on, and Rebecca Jade and the Cold Fact. I love those records. They're just such a cool vibe, and I love it. And it's really helped expound my experiences. And I did a whole Cole Porter record with Peter Sprague. We did all Cole Porter, and my first jazz record. I consider myself a jazz singer, so it was really cool to now I have one, and I was really curious to see what I would come up with. And I really had no idea because I was afraid to do that. And so this has been a challenge for me, for myself to come up with a record, to come up with some songs. And I have a friend, like I mentioned, my friend Carnell, and he's just been 100% on board with everything and just helping me. I'll come up with ideas and he's just like, okay, let's go with it. I like that. Oh, well, what about this? And he's just helped be that soundboard to create these songs. And I'm just so grateful to him. And so this record, because it's almost it's almost that catch-22, or double-edged sword, because of us being cover bands for so many years. I come across so many great songs that I love, and the styles, and I'm like, top 40, yeah, I could sing that. I love singing that. I sing jazz, can sing blues, can sing, some funk, soul. So when it was well, what lane do you want to go down? I really didn't know. I really struggled with that, and I finally had to just come up with, and part of me, and I hate to even admit this, but part of me was almost, I love R&B, but I always had this feeling that R&B was this, I felt like it would almost be a pigeonhole. And I was like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself that I'm an R&B singer. I feel like I sing so many different styles, so I kind of was trying to veer away from that. And I'm really glad that I didn't listen to myself and I just created what would come out. And funny enough, a lot of it seems very R&B.
Yeah.
So I think I'm an R&B singer, but I'm also I sing a bunch of different styles. And this particular record has more R&B flavors to it. So I'm really excited about it. I'm challenging myself to write everything. I'm writing all the lyrics. And Carnell is creating all the music except one track is with another person. But for the most part, it's been Carnell and me, and I'm going to try to work on some music videos once these songs are out. And I'm really excited about it because it's just something I've never done from start to finish. I'm basically co-producing my first record, and I've done some even vocal edits, so I've been recording at Alan Sanderson's studio, Pacific Beat recording in PB. And he was the one that dropped the knowledge. He said, if you're starting to do any edits on your vocals, you should get engineering credit. I was like, really? Okay, cool. So
now you're doing well.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's all live instrumentation. It's not beats created. It's which is cool too, but it's just not the vibe I wanted. I wanted this record to be all live real instruments. So before we actually started this record pre-pandemic. So the first 3 songs I think we did actually in person in a studio, and then once COVID happened, it was like let's get. People record from home all the time. So everybody recorded remotely and sent them in, and it still sounds great, so very grateful for this opportunity and this experience. And I'm just really trying to make the best of this, this pandemic. And
I'm curious to know with this like your first change the sound here. With this being your first, your baby, like you said, with these songs being your own and having, like you said, having so much experience doing covers and writing with other, great writers. How do you feel about the songs? Are you satisfied with them? Have you surprised yourself?
That's a good question, because I feel like I have some elements of perfectionism and that's probably why it's taken me so long to get to this point. But I think I've grown a bit to the point where I'm like, I'm really happy with them. Yes. I feel like I could spin and there's always something to fix. That's one of the lessons I've had to learn for myself, that nothing is ever perfect. You can mix and re-record and redo vocals over and over. You will always find something. And I've had to learn that it's okay, that it's not perfect, And actually, that's one thing I had to learn with Cold Fact. I really attribute them because they're about that raw sound, and that's been that weird catch-22 with being in a cover band, because all that pop stuff is so perfect, it's like all that auto-tuning and everything like that. So it's like, I feel like, would you agree with that? I mean, I feel like our ears are so tuned to like hear like no flaws, so anytime I like record things, I'm always like, oh, that doesn't sound good because my run isn't perfect, and with Cold Fact, it's about that raw sound. So we don't do hardly any edits, vocal edits. I'll do like a bunch of takes, till I'm happy with them, 3-4 takes or whatever. But we don't do like pitch correction or anything like that. And I've had to, I've come to really love that about being part of Cold Fact. And I feel like that's transitioned into this project too. Like, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to, I don't want to lose that sense of realness, by doing a bunch of, I don't like autotune, but a bunch of like pitch correction and stuff like that. So I want the sound to still sound real,
Yeah. How exciting. I'm so excited to hear it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, speaking of Derek Cannon, he's here in the comments. Hey, Derek.
Derek, I was just talking about you.
Yes.
Yes. Shouting out, Grossmont College, and how I would call you after my after my sight singing classes. Just be like, Derek, help me. So thank you. And Derek's an amazing musician, and he's an incredible teacher. And I think we are just so grateful to have such wonderful people in our lives that, are willing to help us along the way and share their knowledge. So thank you. Miss you too. Love you so much.
Too. Definitely. Yeah. So, hey, you're also doing a podcast now. Tell me
Yeah,
about that. What's up with that?
it's funny. I'm trying to like not just jump on the bandwagon. I know a lot of people are doing podcasts, but it's actually really for me to challenge myself because I feel like Leonard Patton, what's up?
Leonard.
Yeah. Um I feel like I don't this is really funny, but it's how I feel. I feel like I don't speak well. Like, I feel like this is a good challenge for me to kind of like push my brain outside of music. And
Mm.
so I wanted this actually to be a conversation. So I'm calling it Everything with Rebecca Jade because I don't want it to just, for me, just be about music. I have lots of interests. So I just thought it would be kind of interesting to see what manifests from that. And just kind of challenge myself. And so I had Brett Davis reached out to me. He's at him and his wife Sarah at IQ Podcast, and they're like, "Hey, I think it'd be great to have you be one of our podcasters. I guess I don't know what else to
Mhm.
say, but so it's been fun. It's been challenging. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to explore it and see what kind of manifests out of that because like I said, I just have lots of interests and music being one of my main ones. But I played college basketball. I love cars. I love animals. I love dogs, and um, I just feel like I could maybe talk about some different things. So that's kind
So
of where
you're
it's
just
coming
kind
from.
of no topic in particular. You're just kind of it's just kind of like everything Rebecca Jade.
Everything. Yep.
Well,
I even ran
it's
it by
funny that you say that you don't think you speak well because, I've performed with you lots of times and to me, I think one of the most amazing things about you as a performer is that you are you appear to be fearless on stage. You are not afraid to just improvise and, just like go for it. And you are so you kind of speak from your heart when you talk, and you're just so natural and calm and just,
Hmm,
so easy to watch. So
thank
it's
you.
seems funny to me that you think you don't speak well.
Well, that actually, and I thank you so much. That's very kind for you to say that because um, I had to really work to that point. Back, I'm going to give a shout out again with Derek and I, and oh, thank you, Leonard. Derek and I were in the house band at Anthology many years ago, and thank you, Joe. I remember like being the front person for this band. um, I felt so uncomfortable a lot of times because I'm like, you have to like engage with the people um, and not just be a wet rag on stage. And so I was kind of forced into it in a good way. I didn't, what I mean is like, I wanted to force myself to be a better front person, because I didn't want to be boring. I wanted people to feel comfortable there. I feel awkward, but I want people to know that it's okay to be awkward. I would just throw out random, like, try to make a joke or whatever. Okay, that didn't work, or that did work. Okay, cool. I got a little sense of humor. All right, I'm gonna, you know, that really came from practice but it's also little short tidbits, right? Then you kind of like, okay, a little interjection and then a song. Yay, and you solo and you solo. Okay, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a pause. We're picking what song we're gonna do next, and I'm gonna just have a little banter. So to expound on that, to do a podcast is like way different. No music. I have to talk, potentially for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes or whatever. And to also engage in conversation with someone, ask them questions and stuff, that's hopefully interesting. That's just like, to me, is like a whole nother mindset of really, and that to me is really working outside of my comfort zone. But that's, what I'm trying to do, because I feel like at the end of the day, everything contributes to, what you're doing, who you are. this exploration of a podcast is really going to help me, I think, just feel more comfortable coming up with things, not have long pauses, not saying,
Mhm.
all those little things. I really think about that. And trying to work through that type
Yeah.
of thing. It's really, it's partly self improvement as well, more of a challenge for myself too.
I love that about you. You're always pushing yourself, to get better, do new things, and that's amazing. And that reminds me, I had asked you to be a speaker for the Pandemic Proof Singer Summit,
Yes.
and you were like, "Uh,
Right.
I want to, but you
Right.
did." And you gave this, like, I don't know, it was 20 to 40 minutes or something like that.
Right.
You gave a
Yeah.
great talk. It was incredible, and so
Oh.
I think you're, way ahead of where you think you may be. But
Well,
of
thank
course,
you very
I
much.
totally respect that you're, always pushing forward and getting better and better every year.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Well, same to you. I mean, when you started this pandemic proof singer series, I was first of all really curious. I'm like, wow, yes, pandemic. Yes, we are all going through that pandemic proof. And I seriously had no idea where you were going with it. I was really curious to see how how it was going to unfold and manifest. And then once I saw the first one with all these incredible facets that you're tying in. I mean, because you have been doing this industry, I mean, for a long time, like me, both of us, and just, I'm just so proud of you. And you're doing, it's like the same thing. You're just evolving. You're taking this, what we're all going through and trying to just keep us empowered, keep all others, singers and people that are in our industry who have been hit really hard, trying to just keep us empowered. And for that, I am really, really grateful. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Aw, thank you so much. That I appreciate that a lot. I've been having a great time with this, and I think it's at a point now where yeah, I'm really proud of what's coming around, and I just it means so much to me to talk with everybody, and I just kind of hope and pray that it does help in some, even if in some small
Mhm.
way. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you should be proud.
Shout out to Taylin. Hey, Taylin, how are
Wow.
you?
Hi, sis.
Yeah. We were just talking about
Nice.
Pacific Beats just a few minutes ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you saying that kind of is a great segue into the big question I wanted to ask you about tonight because
Okay.
um, you were my first guest, weren't you? I think you were.
I
I believe you were.
I don't remember, but I
Well,
think
one of the first
yes,
guests.
definitely one of
Yeah.
the first. Yeah, I think so.
Um, Something that we had talked about, and I'll never forget you saying this, was um, that it with everything that has happened, um,
Mhm.
it would be just a shame for us to come out on the other side of this unchanged, for the
Yes.
better. And so here we are, 11 months down the road.
This
Tell
is
me
vodka, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. Uh-huh.
Tell me how you've changed. What have you learned? How is your life gonna look different, after this than it did pre-pandemic? Throw some gold nuggets at us.
Well, that's a really good question. First of all, I will finally be much, much closer to this record. Like I said, I think that in and of itself has been um, a blessing because I always just seemed to be too busy, even though I wanted that. Um, I've been wanting it done, but um, wow, thank you. Somebody just a really nice comment. Thank you so much. Um, I have just I learned more about myself in the fact that um, I didn't sit on my hands.
Mhm.
I think it kind of re solidified. I knew about myself. I would consider myself a really hard worker. I think I really took advantage of this time. I've been really, like I said, trying to take advantage of 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 this time, of not being gone, not being out on the road, not being, running off to a local gig in town. I've just been really active. I think I've actually been more busy with things. I had a friend of mine set up my home studio. I've been recording at home a lot more. Um, I've been so busy, and so I think it's been like I could have been sitting on my hands and just been like, and I did for the first couple of weeks because it was like, wow, okay, before knowing it was going to be a year later, you know, I thought just like a lot of people, well, maybe it'll be a few weeks or a month or something, So maybe those first 2 weeks, I literally chilled out. And I haven't done that in a long time. So I took advantage of that as well. I rested, and then it was like, okay, no, this is really happening. It's time to get serious. And, because imagine a big chunk of your money that you make to make a living. I'm very grateful I get to do this for a living. So imagine doing 25 dates a month, more or less. To my church gig was the only gig and I hate even calling it a gig because it's weird, but because I love Seaside. But Seaside family basically helped me so much to be able to like pay my bills and stuff. And then the live stream, people were so generous. And we started out doing my Rebecca Jade homemade. They were so generous. I can't tell you how grateful I was to people, So it just really sparked, just ingenuity. That's another thing I learned. I had to kind of go through the process again to think of what I learned. John Harford, shout out to John, guitar player. He has been here with me on all my Rebecca Jade homemades. He and I have just been like, cool, okay, we're live streaming. How are we gonna do it? YouTube videos. We spent hours trying to learn how to do like set up Facebook Live, how to do OBS, which is like open broadcast system. Mm-hmm. That's stuff that we don't do. Like that's not what we've had to do ever, really, So it really helped, we learned that I think that's probably the lesson I learned, or what did I come out of with all this, was just willing to learn, willing to break outside of my comfort zone and really take advantage of this time to learn basically a new craft or a new angle to our craft. So I think at the end of the day, I would say that's probably that.
Yeah.
My long-winded way.
Really powerful because if I'm hearing you right, sorry, my sound is going wonky here. It's such a great realization to know that, prior to this, very, very busy, you have big major gigs going on, and it could be easy to think that it's the gigs themselves, it's the opportunities themselves that are making you. But you go through an event like this, you didn't sit on your hands. You manifested all of this. It's you making it. It's all you. And really beautiful opportunity to kind of see what you're made of. And I think that that's got to it's got to change you in the respect where that, I mean, man, if you can successfully get through a pandemic and
yeah,
be completely intact and still doing your thing. I mean, it's a powerful lesson, I think.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know how other people are handling it, but for me, I wanted to carry my own weight, as much as I could. And like I said, it just really took, just some recalculating, rethinking, thinking outside the box, type of thing. And it's been great. So, and yeah, and funny enough, I think I told you this, or maybe I didn't, I don't remember, but went back, gosh, before I started doing music full time, I had my license, my real estate license, because I didn't know if music was going to be my thing, and I still was really not, I wasn't sure about myself as an artist, and so I was just trying everything. I was like, okay, well, I did taxes one year. This is like, I had my hands in so many different things. But it was all for a purpose. I was like, I wanted to learn how to do taxes because I was learning to be an artist, and I knew that was like self-employment. It was different than just W-2. So I had a purpose behind it, but this was like way back. And then I also got my real estate license. And then right when I signed up hung my license with a broker, music started just like taking off, and I was able to just do music full time. And then that kind of was sit on the back burner. And, pandemic happened. Right when the pandemic started, I was like, you know what? And I never let go of it. I've had this license for 16 years. And so at the start of the pandemic, soon after the start of the pandemic, I just reactivated my license. I started like taking classes again, all that stuff. And then I actually helped somebody sell a property. So that was that just happened. And that was a blessing as well. So a lot of things, talk about just being open to receiving blessings, or whatever you want to call it. That was another element of just being open to it, and putting and learning and putting, doing what I could to help this person, and it worked out. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. I always say, and you kind of just said it yourself too, that I believe you are the hardest working singer I've ever met. You're always into a project, multiple projects, great projects. And going through all of this, and just, continuing to like drive forward, improving yourself all along the way. Where does that come from for you? Have you just always been like this, or is there some like big vision that you have for your life that just kind of like propels you forward? Or, what is it that when Rebecca gets up in the morning, what's like setting you on fire to get all this done?
Wow, that is a good question.
I should have sent you these questions ahead of time.
That one is a really good question, because I wonder the same thing sometimes. Like, I always have this sense of feeling unfinished. I always feel like there's something to do, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I also, both my parents, and I kid you not, they're both like are always doing something. So I feel like partly it's genetic, like I'm not even joking. Like both of my mom and my dad are always doing something. Always. My dad is still doing manual labor, and he's like 72, or something like that. He's always like carrying bags of concrete somewhere and fixing this and like laying, always. And my mom is like working and singing in choir, like 3 choirs, and she's just like, they're always just on the go. And so I don't know if it's that, but I personally, if I didn't think about them and how they contribute to me, if I left that out, I feel like every morning when I wake up, I'm like, oh, I got this and I got this to do, and there's this, and then, oh, if I really want to do this, my list, I have a whiteboard right over here, and it's full of stuff. Like, I always feel like there's always something, and I write lists, and there's always something. So maybe it's just that feeling inside of just like, I have to do stuff today, or else it won't get done, or I'm just going to be behind on I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but that's how I feel almost every morning when I wake up. So
yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, because then I don't feel like I ever like rest. Like I don't feel like I'm ever like, Rico and I, hubby, we like when we watch a show, I have to really like, it's like make dinner, we'll hang out, and like I have to tell myself like, chill out. Now this time you have to find time to also just relax. And I need that to like unplug and, as well. So, which is also really important.
Yeah. Yeah, just knowing how active you are, I have a hard time picturing you like jammied up on the couch
I do do it. I
relaxing.
promise I do.
Well, what other things, what are your self-care regimens? I mean, is it just kind of like every once in a while chilling on the couch, or what are those things that help you kind of relax and defragment?
uh, I think, well, I mean, I haven't been able to do it for 10, 11 months now. I used to play basketball pretty regularly on a couple of women's leagues. And I miss that so much. That was such a, which is hilarious when you talk about like defragment and relax. That's not technically relaxing, but it mentally it does, because I'm always kind of thinking music and this and grind and this and da da da, and so basketball was such a wonderful way for me to like exert a lot of energy, but like not think about music at all. I had to think about, playing defense and trying to make a layup or hit a jump shot, like that was like, you can't go, oh yeah, but I don't have a gig tomorrow. I got to make sure. No, you have to like be in that moment, So I really miss that. I really miss playing basketball. Other than that, gosh, Rico and I think a lot of times he's been really wonderful. What's up, Chuck? And Harmony,
Harmony.
hi.
Hey.
Sorry.
I think we
Good.
missed Lizette too
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh, Lulu, hi. Thank you for tuning in. Um, so yeah, I think he's been really wonderful because he's really the one that's like, okay, come on, you gotta like chill out, So we find times to just we go out, we ride motorcycles. So we go out usually not during the winter because I hate being cold. I hate being cold, but during the summertime we like to, or like, I mean, even though we have gone like last month and stuff like that, but we ride motorcycles. We try to just do those kind of things. I love to, in a past life, I think I must have been a mechanic. I wish I knew cars. I love the idea of cars. And so like, I like to tinker in cars. I have a couple old school, automobiles, and so it's just like stuff like that. It's just like, but Rico's been wonderful in helping me to just kind of like step away. And so we'll work on stuff together, or we just like to watch shows and just chill out. That's really all we kind of do.
Yeah. I think you and Rico are a lot like my husband and I, where my husband is super chill, like yours is. And in our relationship, we're like yin and yang in our relationship. I'm the one that's like floating in the air, doing all the things, having all the ideas and wanting,
Right.
going all the time. And he's just like steady Eddie, like calm as can be. And I've always said, I'm like the balloon floating in the air and he's holding the string so that I don't
Mm,
fly away.
mm. That's a really good analogy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Yep. Yep.
There's got to be someone that's rational and in control.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think that's the same. Rico's the same way. Just really chill. And it's important. It's important to have that balance, because I've gone to that point where I'm just burnt out, and that's no fun. You have to like, your body will make you. That's the thing people don't realize, and I've had to learn that the hard way. You're go go go. You can't just be like this all the time, because at some point your body's just gonna be like, nope. Here you go. Here's a little flu for you. Here's a little,
Right.
here's a little laryngitis, so you can't sing for a couple days. There you go.
Mhm.
So if you don't take care of yourself, it's kind of a moot point
Yeah.
eventually.
So true. Yeah. Well, you're such a huge inspiration to, our music community. Everybody loves you. I mean, you just if you know Rebecca, you just love her. I mean, you're such a good soul. So great to be around.
Thank you.
So
Likewise.
two things. Why don't you tell everybody where they can check out your stuff? And I will post the links in the comments again. And what do you want people to look at right now? You've got a lot to look at, or listen to. Where do you want to direct everybody?
Well, it's funny. I don't have anything new personally, but the gosh, the Rebecca Jade and the Cold Fact record came out, a couple months prior to, well, like 4 months prior to, no, I'm lying. Came out September of 2019. And that's a great album. It's a really, really kick-ass album. It's called Running Out of Time. So that's all the live stream, streaming, and that record came out on vinyl. So I actually have an album out on vinyl. It's so rad. So people need to grab that. I just updated my website with links on how to get that, because it directs you to the Redwood's site, which is the label that the Cold Fact is on. And then I'm doing, like I said, a Matheny show tomorrow night with Peter Sprague. And then, of course, Leonard, we're doing a Louis and Ella Valentine's Day show on Sunday at 4:00. So that's going to be also at Spragueland, and I'm not sure if that's going to be, we'll figure it out, but I didn't know if there was a link or anything like that. Leonard, if there is one, put that up. Please. But either way, I know I'll be posting it for sure after the Matheny thing tomorrow night. So what's up, Deneen? Incredible. Hi, sis. Yeah. So that's kind of, so basically all my social media is Lady Rebecca Jade. So on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. And also I put stuff on my website, which is RebeccaJade.com. And I'm just wanting to encourage people to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'll be putting out new music videos for all my new songs on there. And I just want to get people to follow on that as well. So it's youtube.com/Rebecca Jade. That's fine.
And do you have a, is it homemade? Is that what it's?
Yeah, Rebecca Jade Homemade. So I'm going to be doing another one. What's the date on this already? God, they keep creeping up so fast. It'll be on the 27th. So it'll be 2 weeks from this Saturday. Basically, it's ended up being the last Saturday of the month is how it ended. It's become now kind of a regular thing to be the last Saturday of the month at 1:00. So it's in the afternoon. That way, folks on the East Coast can tune in. I have some folks that tune in all the way from the Netherlands. They've been amazing. So I try to have it early enough so that kind of anybody can watch. So yeah.
I think Leonard just put the link up for the,
yes,
that's for
the Sunday. That's, I think, for the Valentine's Day show. Awesome. So that's going to be super fun too. Gosh. Yeah. So those coming up. And
how do we catch the podcast? How often is that happening? And where are you streaming to?
Yeah. So it's IQ Podcasts is the hub basically, but then I share it. But it's basically on, hi Sandy. It's basically on, I get the link and I share it on my Facebook. So it's basically like a Facebook post and stuff, and also on YouTube as well. Yeah. So I share them on my pages as well.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Well, before we go, I'll just say this. So I always feel like anytime I am in your presence, like now, or, if we're singing at the church or whatever, I always walk away feeling good and feeling uplifted. And I have no doubt at all, because that is just like the vibe that you put out. You have so much of that goodness, so much of that energy. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any just words of encouragement that you kind of want to leave everybody with, especially to our, singing community, musician community, just like a little shout out, just to give everybody a little boost tonight?
Well, my mantra that I don't know why it stuck with me, but there's been many times, and I know it might be hard to believe, but there's been many times where I wanted to just give this whole thing up. I just be like, forget it. I'm just going to find a job somewhere and just work and not, and then I have to go, no, that's not your purpose. I really feel like my purpose for me is to be doing music and hopefully sharing positivity in the world. And so the mantra that keeps me going are, many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So, and that's a Thomas Edison quote. And I just really always feel, and maybe it's that same drive, that feeling of unfinished. I just feel like there's always, whatever your heart is really telling you, like that you should be doing, you just have to go. You have to go for it. You have to, like, there's just, and you will definitely fail if you don't. It's just guaranteed. So I just encourage anybody, if you're in this music scene in particular, when we're talking about music, like, just go for it. Just keep plugging away. This is not a race. This is such a marathon, Had somebody told me that back when I first started, I mean, I think I would still do it, but you kind of don't know. You don't know until you're just really going through it, like day in and day out. You learn about yourself. You learn that this industry is a grind. You just have to put in the work, but it's so rewarding when you're able to make this, like, your whatever it is. Maybe you want to just be a studio musician. That's a possibility too. I know people that do that, and that's all they do. They're session musicians, and you can achieve those things. It takes work. It is work, but it's so rewarding. And I just encourage anybody who is, if you have that passion, whatever it is, any form of art, or if it's just to help people, to help kids, whatever it is, like, just go in it wholeheartedly, because you just don't know how much you're going to, hopefully, be a positive light, or a positive, source in the world. And we need as many positive people out there to just be out there. So I just encourage anybody to just keep pushing. I know sometimes it feels hard, and it is hard. I mean, Danielle, I'm sure you've had moments too where you're just like, nope, I'm throwing the heels. That's it. That's part of it. That's part of what we do, but I just encourage you to push past that. Find something positive, find something that just brings you that joy, and go, this is my purpose. It's right there. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So whatever your idea of success is, keep going for that. And it might change and it evolves. I remember when I first started gigging, my goal was to just do it for a living. And when that happened, I was like, oh, wow, maybe I made it. Jesus, maybe it's because some people don't get to do this. And then it was like, okay, now I want to learn this. So my goals kept kind of changing because I was evolving, and then it was like, oh, I want to travel the world. I get to travel the world doing music. Like, how these are all things that I didn't know I wanted until it was like, that was the next goal. You know what I mean? So I just encourage people to just, whatever that goal is right now, aim for that goal and hit it, and then just do the next thing and just keep going and keep going. And next thing you know, you'll look back and go, wow, I did that. I did all those things. And you just, anyway, I just want to encourage everybody to just stay the course. Really, really, really.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for that. You're so beautiful. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
To have you in my life. Thank you for coming on tonight. And thanks for everybody who tuned in and jumped into the comments. We're so happy to have you. And I hope you will share. So first and foremost, make sure you check out Rebecca's social media sites, her website. Like everything, subscribe to everything. That helps a musician, a singer immensely that's the best way that you can kind of support right now. So please definitely go check out all her stuff. And if you are a singer out there that feels like you need a little bit more community in your life right now, a little more support, I have a private Facebook group called the Pandemic Proof Singer that you can join. So just look up Pandemic Proof Singer, ask to join. We'd love to have you. This interview series streams to that group as well. And there's all kinds of other fun and juicy things going on in there. So again, thank you, Rebecca. Thanks to all of you.
Pleasure. Thank you so
Love
much.
you all. Please be well. Take care. And we will see you next Wednesday. Good night.
Bye.